There are 4 main families within the Omega collection, and in this video I am going to show you an insight into each and every one of them. We have some watches that are very much of a dress style, some that are more of a sporty style, and we have a few iconic pieces to discuss as well. So the Constellation is one of the most iconic. The lovely thing about the Constellation is the way that the bracelet flows into the case. So it is very much like a jewellery piece. So in this case we have steel and yellow gold. It also comes in steel and rose gold, and as well as a full precious metal piece. If you want the convenience of having something quite sleek and quite elegant to your wrist, then the quartz battery operated is probably a very good choice. But likewise you can also have both the ladies and the gents in automatic. Round about the early 1950s, Omega wanted to commemorate a watch that they'd had out previously, the centenary. So they brought out the Constellation, which has some DNA of the original watch that they had brought out. It is a relatively what you see is what you get family, so a lot of the watches are quite recognisable. The Constellation ranges in price from just under £2,000 for a plain steel quartz model, and it can exceed £16,000 for a full steel model for a ladies. A ladies Constellation starts just under £2,000 for a classic steel model that is operated by battery. The Seamaster is the oldest established family within Omega. In my eyes, there is a Seamaster for everybody. The Seamaster 300 diver is probably the most iconic Seamaster. If you are a James Bond fan, you would certainly recognise it from it being Pierce Brosnan's style. The Seamaster 300, as the name would suggest, allows the wearer to wear the watch to 300 metres. It has your screw down crown and your helium escape. Nowadays the watch is made entirely, dial-wise, is made entirely of ceramic, so you have a ceramic dial as well as a ceramic bezel. The bezel is unidirectional. It also comes in a mid-size. The ladies version starts around about £1,600, right through to the mid-size and this size, and these both are £2,920. So the second Seamaster I have on my tray is the Planet Ocean. It is far deeper. It is definitely a weighted machine. You do have more choice than you do with the classic Seamaster. The watch has also got a sapphire crystal case back and actually allows the diver to go to double the depth of the original one and allows you to go to 600 metres. The third Seamaster we have here is known as the Seamaster 300. It has got a little bit more of a historical look. You may recognise this is the one that was most recently used in the James Bond franchise. Now the Aquaterra is a very different watch from the previous 3 that we just looked at, in the fact that it has no heavy bezel. It is very much the dress watch within the Seamaster range. The iconic appearance of the Aquaterra is the lines across the dial, which are made to look like the lines aboard a yacht. The starting price for an Aquaterra is about £4,000, going all the way through to £15,000 to £20,000, depending again if you wanted to use precious metals. The style of the Speedmaster is very much a dress. Personally, I think it's very much more of a dress appearance. It does still have your black bezel surrounding it, and you also have your chronograph features. The Speedmaster is not made for going underwater. It was in fact the first watch that went to the moon. So in 1969, Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong physically had the watches on them, so it is the first watch on the moon. So the Speedmasters start about £3,500 and again can go all the way up to £12,000. The Ville range is probably the most classic of the Omega watches. It is very much the dress watch. The Villes in the gent range are automatic, and the ladies range they're quartz, so they are battery driven. If you are a gentleman with a slightly slender wrist, there's a watch for you, but likewise if you're a gent with maybe a slightly larger wrist, or you do like a bigger watch, then again there is a watch that would fit you within the range. You've got that one that just sits on that line between both ladies and gents watches. Omega originally, when they were creating their watches, they had this slightly lower price point that they wanted to help with. And so they took their basic movements and put them into very basic cases. With that then developed actually the style, and they found their feet with the style and created the Ville range as an actual family. Omega Villes can range in price from £17.50 through to over £7,000 for a gent's all precious metal, so a yellow gold or a rose gold case. So again, price point wise, they're very keenly priced. So if you would like to see any more of these Omega models, please click the link below to see them on our website, and click the subscribe button to never miss a Burrells video.